I got this cake order and the theme for the party was one silly goose. So I'm going to put a little goose on top and I'm going to do some springy colors and flowers and bows and ribbons, and it's just going to be the cutest thing ever. This cake was for a family friend, so I did go to the party and they had a little adopt a goose section where like the kids at the party could take home this little stuffed goose, and I thought it was the cutest thing ever. There's always something so scary about making a cake for people that you know, especially when they're really nice and you know that even if they didn't like the cake, they would never tell you. But I think they did like it. They said they did, so I'm choosing to believe them. So I started with these pink fondant strips. Those are kind of going to be like the little ribbon that leads up to the fondant bows. Then I went in with a super small piping tip and started piping the stems for all of my daisies. And I didn't worry too much about if there were gaps or if it wasn't perfect, because I know I was going to be covering it up with all these piped leaves. Piping vertically on the side of a cake is way harder than you might think. So that's why there was so much gapping. But again, it didn't super matter because I knew I was going to be covering it up. I did really enjoy this process though. It was a little tedious, which I don't love, like a tedious task, but it didn't take me too long that I was still enjoying it by the end, you know? So after I got all the leaves on, I started piping on the daisies, and I did some of them like kind of looking like they were facing towards you and some of them looking like they were facing toward the sky. I just thought it would give some fun little variation within the flowers. And then once all the flowers were on, I went ahead and piped the centers of them. I did yellow centers, obviously. And then I had to go on to making the fondant bows, and this was a very tedious process, but, oh wait, I did the ruffles first, you guys. Okay, I did a ruffle on the bottom and on the top before putting on the fondant bows. Again, this was tedious, but I love the way they turned out. But I really do think they took the cake up a level, so I'm glad I did them. And then I did make a fondant goose, but it took me so long, so I didn't film it. But she turned out so cute, and I put a little birthday hat on her, and she's ready to party.